Hi, friends. Coach Jeremy here, coming at you again from the house here in the quarantine. Enjoying the time I get to spend with my family, my wife. My mom lives with us. We're having a great time together. We're cooking new things, doing new things. I hope you guys are doing some new things too. Breaking the routine, of course. I mean, this is way different than our own routine, right? Enjoying each other's company for hours and hours every single day. I'm sure it's, I'm sure it's very different at your house too. So, but you know, I've been committing to show up here on the social media and talk to you. At least once a day to talk about some little nuggets that are coming our way about personal development that can help you right where you're at. And so today I wanted to share with you about how you are the agent of change. You are the chooser of your own emotion. I don't think chooser is the correct term, but I use it with my kids. So I'm talking about, hey, who's in charge? Who's the chooser? Who's the one driving, the decisions? And it's always you. It's always us. It firmly places itself within us. We have been given the power to choose the state that we want to be in. There are really only two states of being, only two: empowered and disempowered. That's literally it. Two states: empowered and disempowered. When I feel empowered, then I feel that I have control over what's going on in my circle, right? In my world. And if I focus on what I have control over, then I feel empowered. I feel strong. I feel confident. I feel able. I feel willing to get things done. I feel motivated, right? Those are the types of things we want to feel, right? But when I feel disempowered, it's because I'm focusing on something I cannot change, focusing on things that are not inside my control, and therefore I feel very powerless. I feel helpless. I can't get anything done. It may drive me to anger because I feel as though I'm owed the opportunity to change something. I may feel sad because it's out of my control. I may feel depressed because I feel like I'm still trying and trying and trying and I can't get anything done. So when you want to change the emotional quality of your life to empowered instead of disempowered, then you have to just make your own decision. It's really as simple as that. I know that it might sound too simple for you sitting on the other side listening to this, but here we are in the middle of household lockdowns all over the world. We're sharing with each other more than we probably ever have. We've got people publishing content by the billions. We've got people sharing with one another their hearts. They're feeling vulnerable. They're feeling fearful. At the same time, they're feeling very hopeful because things are going to get better. And we know that because we trust and believe in the doctors and the scientists that are working on this so hard on our behalf for all of humanity. We trust that our governments have got our best interests at heart. However odd that may look from the way we're sitting and the news media reports it, we have to trust that things are going in our favor. When we choose that thought, we feel more empowered. When we choose the thought that we can control our attitudes and our actions at any given time, then we're living in the state of empowerment for that moment. And we're showing our kids, we're showing our spouse, we're showing our family, our friends that connect with us during this time with video, and we're staying apart from one another, but we're showing them, hey, we have control over the way we feel. How would you like that? Would you like to have control over the way you feel? It really is this simple. It's as simple as changing what you're focusing on so that you feel more empowered. Empowered is the state that you want to stay in. When you feel empowered, then you can get things done in a way that makes you feel in control of the situation. So sure, right now, I'm locked in my house. My government has told me I must be, right? I can only go outside I can go outside anytime I want, but I can only stay safe distances away from my neighbors and my friends, right? I can't have gatherings. I can't have parties. I get all that stuff, right? I'm in the same boat that you guys are in, right? I can't go just willy-nilly to any store or any restaurant that I want to. I can't go to the local bar and hang out with my friends. We can't play soccer with our soccer team, right? I mean, there's all sorts of things that we can't do, but if I focus on all the things I cannot change, then I'm going to feel very disempowered, and then I may begin to start feeling sad, depressed, angry, right? Frustrated, any of those things, anxious because I don't have any control. Instead, I need to focus on the things that I have control over, which is my attitude and my action toward the situation, my perspective, the things that I choose to focus on, the things that I choose to look at. So sure, I can't change all the things that I just talked about, but I can change my house, which I have been doing room by room, organizing, cleaning, getting rid of things, pushing things to the garage, getting ready for a big purge when we get to have the ban lifted on home services would be great. I don't know about you. I hope you're doing stuff like that too. Taking control of your environment, taking control of the thing that's around you, that surrounds you at all times. It starts to change the way that you think and change the way that you see things, and hopefully change the way that you act and behave, and are able to enjoy this time instead of just waking up every day thinking, oh man, another day in lockdown. Start to enjoy the opportunity that you have in front of you. You have always the choice before you to choose to feel empowered. And you are making that choice every single moment of every single day, just by what you're looking at, what you're focusing on, what meaning you give the moment. So I would encourage you today to consider the words of the great Viktor Frankl. Man's Search for Meaning was one of the best books that was ever written about this particular subject, about focusing on what it is that's in your power to control. Viktor Frankl was an Austrian Jewish psychiatrist that lived through the Holocaust. Basically chose the Holocaust because Austria offered him an opportunity to fly out of the country. He refused because he didn't want to leave without his family. In the end, he lived through the death camps, and he wrote about it for all of us to read. And in a fascinating understanding and observation of how things went for him and for the people that he was with, it was a pretty simple observation of saying that within 3 days, they knew whether or not someone was going to make it. Within 3 days. 3 days of being in the camp, they knew whether or not someone was going to die or they were going to make it. And it simply had to do with their attitude. It simply had to do with what they chose to focus on. If they began to stay in a state of disempowerment for a 3-day stretch, then he knew they weren't going to last very long. He chose to feel empowered by focusing on what was in his power to control, which in that case was his attitude and his actions. His attitude and his actions. And that is today what you have in front of you. Now, we're not going through a Holocaust, and we are not going through a death camp situation. We are at home, we're comfortable, we're enjoying much of what we say we've always wanted, right? More time at home, more time with our family. At the same time, we do feel confined and we feel restricted, and that can grate on us a little bit. So choose today. Choose the thought and the feeling that feels best. Choose to feel empowered at all moments of your day, and you will find that everything that you do, that you focus on, that's within your control, will change the way that you behave and the way that you act for every single moment of the day. So I hope you enjoyed this little tip today. Remember to stay empowered, be empowered, live empowered, and I'll come at you again real soon. Hope to see you in the comments.